Bruno's Guitar Garage. That's a biggie. You can see a little Bruno here. You can maybe see the Laney that I'm sitting on. I don't quite know if I'm in shot or not. I mean, I hope I am. You can see my Antigua Strat, which is wonderful. You can see my Cold Snack, nickname courtesy of Vice-Grip Garage, excuse me. And you can see this. This is mine. And I'm really happy. This is a Marshall Origin 50. It is a single-ended, single 12-inch speaker, 50-watt amp, all valve with power scaling. It has an effects loop. It has a simple gain, master, bass, middle, treble tone stack. It has a presence control, and it has a control that says tilt. And that doesn't mean you get to win the game of pinball. What else do you get? It looks like a Class 5, honestly. Just a wee bit bigger and more like an old television. It has a foot switch with lights on it that could blind Satan. Get a load of this shit. It's ridiculous. Look, you see that on a dark stage, what's going to happen? You're pinging out of the walls. However, it's a good weighty unit, that. Lovely and solid. Hardwired at that end. Other end's a single, not a single, tip and sleeve connection. Now, I bought this because I played one on a shop a while ago when I was supposed to buy something else from one of the big 3 retailers in New Zealand, and boy did they fuck me round. I haven't been back since. Anyway, I played one of these because these guys were next to them, and, excuse me, I just thought, what a lovely little amp. I didn't have any effects on or anything, it was just a clean sound, and it was just a nice amp. And it stuck with me for a while, and I thought, no, I need 2 channels. 2 channels, this, clean and dirty. But I'll get to that. The other thing is, I would have gone home and Googled it, and it said, oh, built for people who love effects and pedals and shit. And I thought, hey, that's a bit of me, isn't it? And let's be realistic, it is. I can't really function without an effects loop. It's like I have a stroke and only one side of me functions. It's not good, man. So I went to my local shop and said, hey, do you have this? And they said, no. And I said, can you get it? And they went, yep. And they got it. And I took my bloody effects board and the gold top along, and I plugged it all in, and I played it, and I liked it, and I bought it. And that's the story. Anyway, so a fair starting point with this is an Antigua Strat. My board is all plugged in. We are not using any effects that aren't a tuner, and I'll just cover up Satan for a minute. That one says effects loop, this one says boost. Boost is not very interesting. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's a minor volume boost. You can probably hear the cicadas outside, that's how interesting it is. Effects loop you can turn on and off, which is a weird feature, because, I mean, if you turn it off, I just don't have my tuner. I don't understand it, so it's kind of a moot point, but whatever. Anyway, Antigua Strat, that. Now it has power scaling, it has 50, 10-ish and 5-ish. I'm on the 10 watt setting because honestly there is no discernible change in sound between those 3 options, which is so good. Attenuator's been struggling with that for years. Right, everything's at known. Tilt is at 0. Gain and master are on 2, so they're bang on 9 o'clock, and you're watching, so it'll be 3 o'clock, so that way, I think. Anyway. So, neck pickup, blah da da. Yeah, not a hell of a lot happening there, right? You can hear a bit of farts going on, so it will break up eventually. However, if we take this tilt control, put that at noon, that's, yeah, it's pretty much known. Back to the neck. just off that tilt control. So now I'll crank it all the way up. It almost sounds like a Vox, but with less high and a bit more. I can chop a reed. That's a bit farty. We don't like that very much. I'm sliding everywhere because it's been very humid here in little old New Zealand. It's about 25 degrees Celsius and our relative humidity is 80-ish. Sometimes it's 95. It's just ridiculous. Most of us are running out of steam, man. It's not good. And it's not good for the guitars either. They don't like it. I'm going to roll the tilt back to about 1 o'clock. Add a bit more bass, also 1 o'clock. Drop the middle to about 11. Put the treble up to 1. Presence up to 1 o'clock. See what we get, eh? So, what we'll do now, just for a laugh, crank the gain all the way up, turn the master down. What's going on here? Oh, it doesn't like that very much. I think I've broken it. No, it's just hissing at me. That's weird. Help if I turned the guitar volume up, wouldn't it? What a dick. My tuner's on. Wow. God, that was special of me. Anyway, you're back in the room. It's really creamy if you do that, but I like a clean amp. Sorry, I had the boost on as well. It seriously doesn't do much. We'll put those back. Now, because you've got power scaling, you can play it quietly. And I promise you that's really not loud at all. So what we could do, we just you still get a little bit of doodah with a little bit of gain, a little bit of master, you know. But simplicity is the best weapon, and I say that time and time again. Now, I said earlier I don't need a gain channel. On my board we have the bass big muff, which I run in the effects loop. Just as like a bit of salt and pepper, you know, a bit of seasoning. But between the guitar and the amp is a thing called a radial tone bone plexi tube, which is a hot rodded Marshall in a box. And it takes a lot of pissing around to get right if you're unfamiliar with it, which I was, and it took a lot of pissing around to get right. But that's my drive channel now. I have the gain set really quite low because you just don't need much. even into the front, takes pedals really well. And just for more effects like nonsense, we'll turn on the delay. Just crank that up a bit for the sake of the video, eh? What more is there to say? It fucking loves it. Now I will. Ooh, golly, that was a Powerade bottle if you just heard a weird noise. Park the Strat over here. You can sit there nicely. And we will pick up the reject from the 80s, the Explorer. Just to see what this thing does when you chuck some really high output pickups at it. In the shop, I was playing the Gold Top with it. The Gold Top has loud pickups, but they're not very high output. And I don't script these videos, so this is out of tune. The Gold Top in the shop, the room that I was playing in was not very big, and there was no wall space for me to stick the amp against. So it was just sitting in the middle, and me being me, I just don't think that's a very good way to get a fair idea of how an amp's going to behave. But I mean, still made good noises and I liked it. And I can confirm there is in fact an awful lot of volume on tap with this thing, because it's still a 50 watter. I'm not sure what the rating is before clip, but so I've read on the internet, because I don't really have a fucking aircraft hanger to crank it up in. If you crank that master, the amp will hang with you and you will get that plexi drive sound. Not something I'm going to attempt, because, you know, I live in suburban metropolis New Zealand and I live with other people. They're not going to like me very much if I do that. That's the middle. That's not very high output, but this is. You get a bit of breakup. Those preamp tubes are just getting kicked in the dick right now. It's a bit darker. Maybe if I stick my head in front of it, it'll be brighter. Yeah, all the clarity is right there. It's a guitar amp. It's MIDI. It's pissed off. The speaker's still wearing in. So perhaps this isn't going to be the greatest demo. Fucking hell. Greatest demo video ever. Excuse me, it's very warm. But at least I'm telling you what's hot and what's not. Okay. So we can confirm it works great with a vintage-ish style Strat, a sort of hot-rodded Explorer. It loves things in the front and in the back. Oh my! It is built in Vietnam, so it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. It's built strongly, although it's also quite light, which is great, because, you know, somehow I just became a little bitch. I can't carry heavy things anymore. It's lighter than the Laney. Search me. The cabinet design's really interesting at the back, which you can't see because it's at the back, and I'm not going to pull the fucking thing around because we're just not that advanced here, man. This is a no-budget show. It's a closed back, but it's also not. And there are going to be 1,000 pictures of this thing on the internet, so I don't need to show you, they're just everywhere. What else can we talk about? It's got nice little grills in the top, where if you look in you can see the valves glowing. Hello there, little friends. Gets quite warm because it's a valve amp, that's what they do. And what did kind of surprise me, we have nothing, there's speaker, right? So we'll call that our point there. Come over here, the speaker ends there. So it's offset, and I think that's really cool. The cab's a bit oversized, so it doesn't sound boxy when you do turn it up. Not bad. Black Star, offset your speaker, make the cab a bit bigger, you know? Nothing wrong with Black Star though, let's not get caught up here. So, if you get all your gain from pedals, like me, if you like time-based things, delays, if you like modulation, choruses, flanges, ring modulators, and shit like that. If you need an effects loop, you need a single-ended clean amp, this is the answer. It's brilliant. And with this lovely basket weave cloth, you can bounce your pick off it. I missed, I'm going to do that again. There we go. Bruno's Guitar Garage does it again, poorly. Marshall Origin 50, also available in 5 and 20 watt versions. Why did I buy the 50? It has a 12-inch speaker. The 20 has a 10-inch speaker, and I just like the 12s because it's that extra 2 inches really makes a difference.